Hello, I'm Kelly Acheson from Menasha, Wisconsin, and today I'm really excited to show you this card that I made. We're using a couple different techniques. We're using a sponging technique with masking, and we're also using a glitter splatter technique. Super fun, makes your card look spectacular. So let's get started. So I've got a 4 1/4 by 5 inch piece of Whisper white cardstock here. And I'm going to start with my 2 1/2 inch circle punch and just a post-it note that'll fit in there. This is going to be my moon. And what you want to do is watch the side that's got the sticky on it, because you want to get as much of that into your punched circle as possible. So I'm kind of pulling it over, and I'm going to punch as much as I can so I have that sticky on there, which will help hold it in place. So here comes my sticky. And oftentimes we use a much smaller circle for a moon, but I just love the big look, the big moon look. I've got Night of Navy ink here and a sponge. And by the way, I just take my sponges, and I've got Night of Navy cardstock here. This is an old punch we used to have, but you can just take a piece of paper, fold it over, and staple it to your sponge wedge. And that tells me every time this is my Night of Navy sponge. So I'm going to take my sponge and hold down my circle. I don't want that slipping away from me. And you're just going to sponge your color on. Move it around so you're comfortable with it. And you can make it as dark or as light as you want. Now the splatter technique with the glitter will be a lot more spectacular if your card that we're sponging here is darker. And then one other thing that I want to do before I'm done here is I want to tear off the bottom so that I have room to stamp my grading. If you want to, you can leave the white here, but I liked the contrast between the white card base and my torn edge here. I want that to be nice and dark. Okay, now when you lift up your moon circle mask, it's going to be really bright white, and I don't like that too much. So I'm just going to come in and bring a little color on it. Just tone it down a little bit. I'm just kind of coming in, you know, the moon has some clouds over it. There we go. Pretty cool, huh? Okay. Now the next thing that I'm going to do here is I am going to stamp my trees. And the trees that I have are from the Wonderland stamp set. Everybody always asks, what are these horns for? Well, I'm not really sure, but horns are really popular right now, whether it be home decor, clothing. You'll see horns all over the place. So I'm glad we have a set. I've got my Memento Black Ink here, and Cozy Christmas stamp set is the one that has the reindeer in it, and it has some wonderful greetings here with a little house and bells. So this is one of my favorites because I love the Santa and the sleigh. And you're just going to stamp that just like that. Isn't that fun? Oh, I love Christmas, and it just makes me think of Christmas so much. And now we're going to do our trees on here. And again, the trees are from the Wonderland set, a beautiful set of evergreen trees. And I'm going to stamp this first one up here pretty tall. And then I'm going to stamp it again so you get kind of a shadow effect. So it looks like an entire forest going on there. And then just a little bit lower. How about some trees right here? Don't you like that? I love that shadow effect. Okay, the best thing you can do is let this dry a little bit because my ink is still a little wet and I don't want a lot of glitter sticking to it. So I am going to put some protective sheets down here and show you how to mix up the splatter. You just want some type of a non-porous surface, a little plastic plate or whatever. I'm just going to use my block. This is one of my acrylic blocks. And I'm going to squeeze out some glue here. Depending on how many cards you make, you might want more glue. And then I've got an Aqua Painter with water in it. And I'm just going to drip some water into it. And then I'm going to mix it up. And I've had people go, oh my gosh, you're putting glue on your Aqua Painter? Yeah, it washes right out. You don't leave it sit to dry. So once you have that mixed up, this is a very diluted solution. So it will flick better for your splatter technique. You're going to get that loaded and you're going to just hold your finger out and splash some glue at your project. Grab a little bit more. And that's it. That's the cool part. And now I'm using silver glue. And silver glitter. We have silver and gold extra fine glitter. I think the silver goes better with this navy blue. So I've just got a piece of paper here to catch my glitter. And you're just going to pour it on. I'll see I've got a lot of glitter sticking where it shouldn't be. Don't worry about that. Don't panic. We'll get rid of that as soon as your card dries. Set this aside. Now, if we had waited and let the ink dry a little better, you wouldn't have all the glitter sticking on there. But since we didn't, once it does dry, you can just take a real fine bristled brush and you can just dust away the glitter that shouldn't have stayed on there. And I'm catching it here on my piece of paper so I can pour it back in the bottle. Oops. It's also got some glue on it, so okay. Isn't that just gorgeous? I absolutely love the splatter technique. And again, here's my card. And I've added some of our silver cording. We have silver and gold. I just added that, tied a couple bows on there. I've got some little rhinestones here by Have a Cozy Christmas. And the inside of my card I decorated up also. So let me show you some other spectacular cards. I've got a fall card here. This is from my friend BJ Peters. She's from Minnesota. And she just did a little bit of the splatter. Can you see that? A little bit of the splatter technique right over here on some chocolate chip cardstock. Gorgeous. This uses our Light-Hearted Leaf stamp set. And then this is from my friend Lori Krause. She's from Michigan. And she again used the trees and a brayer and splattered some silver here. And then here's another card that I made tonight. I used Lost Lagoon ink and cardstock. And I used gold glitter. I also used a mask down here just to cover that up so I didn't sponge this bottom part. Stamped my greeting. I've got one of our wooden snowflake embellishments and a little bit of that gold cording to kind of set it off. And then here's a card that I found online by one of our demonstrators in Australia. And I used pumpkin pie and So Saffron, a little bit of crumb cake, and some soft suede to sponge this with Mossy Meadow sponge down here. So it kind of gives you a mountainside. And then this is stamped on vellum with Stays on Black ink. But isn't that just spectacular? So I hope you enjoyed this short little tutorial. I just wanted to show you the technique and how I made this and some other fabulous cards using the same technique. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I would love to earn your business. You know I spend a lot of time stamping and working really hard to come up with great ideas for you. Hop on over to my blog at astampabove.com. We've got a 15% off sale that ends today. That's on all stamp sets. So thanks for stamping with me.